Hey guys, it's my favorite time of the year. It's fall and October, which means it's time for those ooky spooky lessons to come out of the closet for your music classroom. In today's video, we're going to be sharing a bunch of ideas that you can be using for Halloween or for fall. Now, they're not all Halloween specific. A lot of them you can change out so that they don't say Halloween at all in case your school doesn't celebrate Halloween like mine does. Because by golly, I was not going to get rid of all of my lessons because I'm kind of obsessed with Halloween. And so we want to make sure that we're being respectful of like kids that don't celebrate Halloween and families and if our school doesn't. So I have ways of changing them all. And we're just going to talk about my favorite lessons to do in the Halloween music room. Remember, if you didn't see last week's video, we talked about 5 of my favorite picture books to use in the music room around Halloween time, so definitely be sure to check that out. I'm not going to reference those activities again, and I have more book activities I could reference, but that'll be another video. But today we're just going to talk about different lessons for all different grade levels in general. So if you're interested in that, make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and all of those things. If you don't know who I am, my name is Rainey Barton. I'm an elementary music teacher and a middle school musical theater teacher in Central Florida. I created this channel to help other music teachers instill a love and appreciation of music in the heart of every child, and we do that through lesson tips, tricks, and strategies and things. I share what I'm doing every week in my classroom so that you are able to better see like what it can look like in an elementary music room. I don't really share as much of the theater side just because like I'm co-teaching and like she really takes that over. I'm just helping with that because like that's new to me. But hopefully if this channel is up your alley, we have videos on Mondays and Wednesdays. I know today's Tuesday. We're gonna survive. I was out of town yesterday and I didn't prepare accordingly, but that's okay. All right, so let's talk all about Halloween lessons in the music room. Okay, we're gonna start with a classic. I love this song. I'm not entirely sure where I've seen it. It's been in game plan. It's been on the internet. I feel like every music teacher uses it at some point, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's called Skin and Bones. And it's this song. It's kind of like the little old lady, you know, like there was an old lady who swallowed a bat. It's kind of like that. But the song goes like this. There was an old woman, all skin and bones. Ooh. And you say the ooh every time, but the rest of the song I'm not going to sing all of it. I'm just going to sing the verses. So there was an old lady, woman all skin and bones. She lived down by the old graveyard. Ooh, you get the dress. She lived down by the old graveyard. So there was an old woman all skin and bones. She lived down by the old graveyard. One night she thought she'd take a walk. She walked down by the old graveyard. She saw the bones all lying around. She went to the closet to get a broom. She opened the door and boo! And then something jumps out at you. There's many ways you can do this. I have story slides. I actually have a whole entire presentation on this in case you want to present this to your students. So I will link that down below so that you can just buy it and it'll have everything. But I include story slides the first time I sing it to them and let them see the story through the story slides. Then I show them this fun little video that I found on YouTube of an animated version of a woman like walking and doing this whole song. I think it's super cute. So I show that next. And then after that, we start to break down the song piece by piece, and like they're in charge of the oohs at first, and then I teach them the whole story phrase by phrase, and once they know it all, then we can add on and do other things. So this is a song you can use to introduce low law because of the ooh. So if your students are there, so I typically use the song with 3rd through 5th, and I'll introduce low law in like 4th. But we use the song, and you can use the slides to introduce law, and so I have the ghost, you know, doing the oohs. I only really work on the solfege part with the ghost, the ooze part. And then after you've introduced and reviewed law, then you can add instruments and add the game. So the way that the instruments go and the game goes is I'll split the class into half, and half will be at the Orff instruments and half will be in the graveyard. Half that are at the instruments, I'll have 1 or 2 on my bass bars playing the E, doing a tremolo the entire time so that it sounds spooky, going and then the rest of them, they play the oohs on B-A-G-E, so that, and then they sing the song too. So like the instrument players are in charge of the song. The rest of the characters are in the graveyard and they're laying on the floor like in the tombstones. And then you have 1 old woman and 1 ghost. And so, or monster. And so the old woman is in the middle of the graveyard, the ghost goes and hides somewhere when she's not looking, and then I tell them a general idea of like where they're hiding, like what area they need to be in by the time we say she went to the closet to get a broom. And so the old woman just walks around the graveyard while they're singing, and then every time it says ooh, the little monsters get to wake up out of their grave and go ooh, and then they go back to sleep. They think it's the funniest thing ever. And then they keep walking all over the room. And then when it says, she went to the closet to get a broom, the old woman will walk near where I told them to walk. She opened the door and the kid gets to jump out of them and go, boo! And it's super fun. And so then they will pick someone else from the graveyard to take their place. And once everyone in the graveyard has had one turn, they don't get to do both. We switch out and the instrument players go be in the graveyard and the graveyard people go play on the instruments. My kids love this. I turn off some of the lights for this to make it a little spookier. My kids ask for this every year. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it at this school. I still feel like it doesn't say Halloween, but they might say like no. But I love this activity. I hope you use it in your classroom. Like I said, I have a whole entire presentation linked with slides and pictures for the instrument part and like all of that stuff, so I will link that down below. But that is my favorite activity to do for Halloween. Another fun one to use in your elementary music room is pumpkin patch, and I typically will do this in like second and third to introduce ticka ticka or 16th notes with my students. I also have a lesson plan pack for this, so you can get that underneath this video as well. But the song, there are two versions of this song, and I include both in mine. There's a pentatonic version, and then there's a minor version. It depends on what you want to teach. I'll sing both. But the first one goes, pumpkin patch, looking for a pumpkin in a pumpkin patch. Here is one, nice and fat, turn into a jack-o'-lantern just like that. So that's the first one. The second one goes, pumpkin patch, looking for a pumpkin in a pumpkin patch. Here is one, nice and fat, turn into a jack-o'-lantern just like that. And so it depends what you're learning. I normally just use the spooky one because it's like, you know, more fun, but I'm not actually teaching minor until 4th or 5th grade with my students, but I use this in 2nd and 3rd. And so I have, you know, introduction slides for ticka ticka, and we'll be like, oh, okay, let's see what rhythms you know, what rhythms you don't know, and then I'll introduce the 16th notes and we'll practice it and all of that. But there's two different games you can do with this. One is, if you've ever played the Bow Wow Wow folk dance, if you never have, it's the same exact thing for pumpkin patch. You can do the same exact thing. And so what I have them do is, in Bow Wow Wow, they jump 3 times. So I change it a little bit though. I changed the song a little bit. So pumpkin patch, they go pat their legs, clap their hands, pat their partners. So it goes pumpkin patch, looking for a pumpkin in a pumpkin, or actually we do this, looking for a pumpkin in a pumpkin patch. And then we just repeat this again. Here is one, nice and fat. And then they grab hands and they change places with each other, turn into a jack-o'-lantern just like that. And then on that, they jump away from each other and they have a new partner. So the entire thing is pumpkin patch, looking for a pumpkin in a pumpkin patch. Here is one, nice and fat, turn into a jack-o'-lantern just like that. And then they have a new partner. So that one is super fun. It's just a fun little folk dance to get them moving and grooving. So that's one way. The other one is literally just a passing game to the steady beat, going pumpkin patch, looking for a pumpkin in a pumpkin patch. Here is one, nice and fat, turn into a jack-o'-lantern just like that. And if they get it on the just like that, then they're out and they could make their own circle, and then you could have 2 games going, like a loser circle, but you don't call it that. I call it the not winning circle, or the second chance circle. That's what I call it, the second chance circle. And then we have like the winner's circle. And so that's just what I do. And then that way they're all still getting to play, but then like they're not sad, you know, if they get out. Anyway, so that's another fun one that you can do with your students for like 2nd and 3rd. Let's move on to 2 that I use for my kinder and 1st grade babies. And the first one is called Looking for Dracula. This one I learned from my elementary methods music teacher in college. It's basically going on a bear hunt, but you're looking for Dracula instead. And so I will set up different things in my room. Like I will set up a chair that's big enough for the kids to crawl under. I'll have like a scarf on the floor that's blue to be like the lake. I'll have one other thing to be like the trees or something. But I'll pretend to be not Dracula during this, but I'll be like, okay guys, we're gonna go and try and find Dracula. And we talk about who Dracula is, he's a vampire and all that. And I'll be like, all right, but we can't go until we are prepared. We have to put on our cape, we have to put in our fangs, and then we're gonna go. And so it goes like this. They're gonna echo me. It goes, looking for Dracula, but I'm not afraid, I've got binoculars, shoulders. I've got my cape and my fangs. I've got my cape and my fangs. Oh no, what do I see? And then, they're copying me and I say, a lake, an eepy creepy lake. And then we go, we can't go over it. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. We can't go under it. We can't go around it. We can't go around it. We're gonna have to go right through it. We gotta put on our boots. And then we go, and this was so funny. So she just, goes through it and all this. But for the row the boat one, this one's funny because she goes, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Ha ha, fooled you, I'm a submarine. And then you get out and they keep on going. My kids love this one. So we do it for I think a forest, a lake, and then a cave. And then the last one, they say, we're going into the haunted house. And then we tiptoe. And then, you say, and a great big body with a great big cape and great big fangs. And then we go, it's Dracula, run! And so we run back through all of the things that we ran through before. So through the haunted house, through the cave, through the lake, through the thing, and we get all the way back and we say, oh, he almost got us, but not today. And so if you've ever done bear hunt, it's the same exact thing. My kids love this activity. They think it's so funny. They ask for it multiple days in a row, and it's just super cute, super fun, super easy to keep them entertained. So definitely try that one with K through 1. And then, of course, there's the popular, there's a spider on the floor. Which if you don't know the song, I learned it through Rafi forever ago. Rafi is great. But it goes like this. There's a spider on the floor, on the floor. There's a spider on the floor, on the floor. There's a spider on the floor. I can't take it anymore. There's a spider on the floor, on the floor. Yes, floor rhymes with more. That part is added from Artie Almeida because it's teaching your kids about rhyming words. Artie Almeida, if you don't know who she is fabulous. But you don't have to have that part. So, I have toy little spiders somewhere. I don't know where they are at this exact moment. But I have little plastic spiders, and I give each kid a spider, and yes, some of them freak out, and you genuinely have to show them that it is not actually a spider, or they lose their minds. And they will copy everything I say. So I'll say, there's a spider on the floor. I might say, there's a spider on my head, on my head. There's a spider on my head, on my head. There's a spider on my head, and I think it might be dead. There's a spider on my head, on my head. You can find all of the lyrics if you easily search this into Google, because there's there's a spider on my belly. The funniest one they think is, there's a spider on my booty, on my booty. They think that one's hilarious. But this one's super cute. They're just getting to have a little movement activity with a spider. I typically will tack this on to the end of my lesson about the very busy spider, which I have an entire book lesson on that, and that was definitely shared last week in my Halloween book lessons activity. So check that one out for sure. But this one is another fun one that you can do with your younger students, and they just think it's hilarious. I have 1 or 2 more to share with you. Like I said, I have 50 I could share, but I feel like I don't want to bombard us with everything, so I'll share 2 more. Okay, the next one is to the chant Miss White. And so, if you've never seen Miss White, it goes like this. Miss White had a fright in the middle of the night. Saw a ghost eating toast halfway up the lamp post. So that one's super cute, and my kids all realize that it's rhyming and things. It's used for ta and TT. Now, before I knew about TPT, I made this lovely poster, and I bring this poster out every year because by golly, I made it and I'm going to use it. And so this one, it has, ta is the bigger ones, and then the little ones are TT. So I have Miss White had a fright in the middle of the night. Saw a ghost eating toast halfway up the lamp post. Yes, I know. I'm a beautiful drawer. I totally understand. Okay, anyway, I use this, and on the back I have the same exact thing, but with taws and TTs, so I can use it for both. But anyway, we review the poem. They think it's hilarious, and then with the lesson that I used from Eileen Miracle, what she had after they learned the entire thing and they saw which words rhymed and all of that, is there was a composition piece. And so she had them figuring out the patterns, and then they actually made their own ta, 8-beat ta and TT pattern, and then they were able to add instruments to it. So that's a really quick, easy one for assessment. There's nothing too much to this. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of ways you could go with this, but I use this as a little fun composition activity for my kinder and first grade babies. Maybe first and second, depending when you introduce quarter and eighth notes. But this one is super fun, and you can buy this poster in my store. I am joking, you cannot buy this poster. But I will have a lesson pack on Miss White eventually. But for now, I use the Eileen Miracle one, so I will link that down below. And my last activity I got this idea I am blanking on who I got this idea from. If I remember by the end, I will link it underneath. But it's the book, Room on the Broom, which if you don't have that, I'll find it somewhere, but it's about this witch that people keep inviting or keep asking to, or she loses different parts of her, like stuff like her wand and things, and then when animals find it, they say, I'll give it to you if I can have a ride on the broom. And so she has a bunch of animals on her broom, and then this monster comes, and like, it's a super cute book, and there's actually a Netflix TV show on it as well, or movie. Anyway, I use that and pair it with the song Past the Witch's Broomstick, which is in 6/8, so it's good for a compound meter, and then it's also for minor. And I'm going to try and remember all of the words because it's a tricky song, and there's actually a couple variations of it, but this is the one I learned. It goes like this. Make a great big circle all around the room. When the music's playing, quickly pass the broom. Pass the broomstick quickly, don't you let it drop. I don't want to have the broomstick when the music stops. And so I will sing that every time a new animal hops on for the book. And then by the end, the kids know the song. And then we play the game, Pass the Broomstick, which I bought probably a couple of years ago at the Dollar Tree, like 20 of these brooms. And they don't all have a broom for this activity. I use a bunch of brooms for kids to ride around on for other activities. But for this one, I have a broomstick. I also have a skeleton hand somewhere. I think I left it at home. But the way that the game Pass the Broomstick goes is they pass this to the beat, just like this, and then whoever has it on the word stops is out. Now, eventually, there's less kids, and so you're having to toss this broomstick to each other, and eventually, like, this gets too hard to toss. So I have some skeleton hand. It's basically it used to be a lettuce tosser, but I use it as a skeleton thing instead. I can't find it right now. It's about this big, and they have to underhand toss it once they get far enough away, and then when the winner is there. Now, your kids will ask for this all the time. They're going to be obsessed with this. My kids were definitely obsessed with this. And it's a super fun game, and you can review, like I said, compound meter, and also minor, and like triplet, and like all of that good stuff. So it depends on what you want to review. But like I said, I can't remember who told me to pair these two together. If I remember, I will let you know. But this is fabulous. I love it so much. And so definitely do Room on the Broom with Past the Witch's Broomstick. And those are all the lesson ideas I have for you, at least for this round of Halloween music lesson ideas. I will definitely not run out of ideas for at least a couple more years to come. If any of these were interesting, I will link all of the ones that I created myself, which is Skin and Bones and Pumpkin Patch. I will also link any that I mentioned down below so that you can like see them and figure out which ones you want to do. I would love to know what your favorite Halloween music activity is to do down in the comments, because I feel like we have so many different ideas we could do, or fall themed. And we will just keep on going. So like I said, you will get a video about what I'm teaching this week in the elementary music room coming up soon. And then next week, I can't remember what I said we're talking about. So I guess it'll just be a surprise. But like I said, like, subscribe, share, all of the things if you're interested in this. I'm so excited. We keep on growing. We're at 350 subscribers, and I just love each and every one of you for being here. But with that, I'm going to go and get ready for class. So I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.